Hi, my name is Dustin, and welcome to Roasted Road, where we explore, learn, and brew all things coffee. Today, on day 5 of our Advent calendar from ONYX, we are going to be trying a coffee named Framily. Framily is a playful blend of the words friend and family because this is a seasonal blend. This holiday release celebrates both joyful gatherings and the legacy behind one of Ethiopia's most storied estates. Grown on land once gifted to Africa's first female pilot, this washed coffee from Matad's Hembla estate is a harmonious offering, both elegant and crowd pleasing. An approachable roast level unlocks notes of cocoa and berries, making it equally suitable for coffee enthusiasts and cream and sugar loving in laws alike. That's kind of funny. All right, so with this coming from Ethiopia, Ethiopia being the birthplace of coffee, with a rich history dating back to the 9th century, even today Ethiopia remains a top coffee producer. Now, the variety being landrace just means that these beans that we're using today, they're indigenous to Ethiopia. We can't really point to a specific type of variety, that just one variety being SL28 or Rui Ru or anything like that. This is just landrace, indigenous, all put together. Now, when it comes to varieties, it can have an impact on the flavor profile. So I want to discuss variety real quick. And to do that, we want to first think of another type of variety that we're very familiar with. Let's look at apples, for example. All apples fall under the Malus domestica genus. Then we have thousands of apple varieties, all with unique color, shape, texture, flavor, so on and so forth. Well, coffee varieties follow a similar pattern. So the coffee today that we're going to be tasting, it does come from Matad's Hembla estate, which is located in the Gucci region and known for its high elevation and incredibly vibrant profiles. Because it's a landrace variety, you get that natural genetic diversity with Ethiopia's famous for, and it gives a cup a layer of baked apple berries and a touch of Earl Grey florality. Let's take a look at Ethiopia here. Okay, here's Ethiopia. Now, the Guji zone here is in the Oromia region. And somewhere inside here, inside this Guji zone, is our Matad's Hembla estate. Now, just to give another image, here's our Guji zone right here. You can kind of see it's a little mountainous. It's got elevation of about 18 to 23,000 meters. 1,600 meters is a mile. So we're talking about over a mile high in elevation, which really can concentrate some of those sugars and sweet flavors of the coffee. Now, going back to the card real quick, the process here is washed. So the process is just how the seed is extracted from the cherry, and in this case, we're saying it's washed. Now, it does go through a natural fermentation to pull the seed out of the cherry. However, it does get washed, which leaves a nice, clean, bright, elegant flavor. It shines without that heavy fruit fermentation flavor that you might find in a natural process of coffee that isn't washed. Now, Hembla's careful cultivation brings out a smooth sweetness with cocoa-like depth, making this a balanced and approachable Guji coffee with real character. But you can't talk about this without talking about the roast. I'm glad that they're bringing this up here, that an approachable roast level unlocks notes of cocoa and berries. Now, don't know how they're defining an approachable roast level, but I can certainly say this, that roast is so important. A paper came out from Joseph A. Rivera, who was basically saying 60% of the coffee profile is affected by the roast. Or another way to say it, that roast can affect or account for more than or about 60% of that coffee's flavor profile. Now, diving into that, the Framily roast, because I was able to find information on this, The family roast is a medium roast sitting at an agtron number of 119, which means we're right in that sweet spot. Not too dark, not too light. Now, if you're wondering what is an agtron number, it's basically how we measure the roast level by color. So the agtron is a machine that measures the color of the roasted coffee bean, and the lower the number, the darker the roast. The higher the number, the lighter the roast. This balanced roast highlights the smooth blend of sweetness and acidity thanks to the precise control of a Stronghold S7 roaster. Now, the Stronghold S7 roaster is an advanced machine that uses multiple heating methods to fine-tune each batch. The reason I bring this up is because the three different types of roasting methods are conductive, convective, and radiant, which, of course, as you can see it coming, has an effect on the flavor profile. The conductive roasting is where coffee beans touch hot surfaces directly. This method develops sweetness and body. Convective roasting uses hot air to roast the beans. This brings out a bright acidity and lighter body. Radiant roasting uses radiant heat like halogen lamps, and this gives a very clear and clean flavor. So now, let's see how these details translate inside the cup. Okay. As we had mentioned, here is the beans. We were kind of looking at those a little bit ago. Yeah, nice. I went ahead and I ground pretty coarsely. There we go. Yeah, that is fairly coarse. I thought it was a little less coarse, but looking at it through the camera, you can certainly see it's got some coarseness to it. But like our favorite YouTube coffee guy, Lance Hedrick, he's been wearing these shirts that say, "Go coarser." All right, putting an AeroPress filter inside the OXO Rapid Brewer. All right, let's go ahead and let me just tamp this down super quick, make sure it's nice and tight. All right, just throw it in there. Okay, we are using 24 grams of bean, besides this little bit right here. I'll sweep that up later. All right, let's go ahead and throw this down on the top. Let's give this a little tamp. It doesn't have to be like super tight or anything. I just want that paper sandwich. I was practicing this, and it went pretty well. Okay. There we go. What we are going to do is a recipe that I saw online, and we are going to do 24 grams of the coffee, and then we're going to do 80 grams of water. Okay, here we go. This will be quick. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this on. All right, we want 80 grams. Oh, overshot a little bit. That's all right. It's not gonna hurt it. Okay, let's go ahead and throw this on here. All right, I'm letting that bloom a little bit. I want some nice saturation. I'm gonna go ahead and push down to get some saturation. I'm just gonna give it a second. And now. All right, we got some soup. Okay. Put that over to the side. Okay, now I was doing this earlier on a different day, and I had found from experimenting that I really like a 1-to-3 ratio with the concentrate in this recipe. Oh, it smells so balanced right now. Let me take a quick little sip of the concentrate. Wow, that's gonna be really nice. Okay. Go ahead and use one of my favorite cups. Let's go ahead and zero this out. All right. I'm going to put 25 grams of concentrate in here. Oh, shit. Okay, there we go. Overshot just a little bit, no problem. I like the 1-to-3 when I was playing around with it, so let's get to 100, 101. Yeah, close enough. No problem. All right. Here we go. It's a black mug, so. All right. I did get lights. I don't know if anybody can tell that there's lights now. We'll come back just a little bit more. I'm really looking forward to the day where I'm editing. Yeah, can't wait till I get to the day where I'm editing these videos and it's a lot smoother, but you gotta roll with the punches. That's how life works. All right. I'm not getting that fruit forward florality that you typically get with an Ethiopian because of that roast, right? Let's taste it. Now, when you taste it, you definitely get that florality. Yeah, I can see what they're talking about with the baked apple, that baker's chocolate cocoa finish. Kind of lingers on the tongue. that Earl Grey. Oh man, it really does have kind of an Earl Grey flavor, finish. All right. Yeah, this is definitely for all people who drink coffee, and maybe they're not necessarily coffee aficionados or connoisseurs, but I think anybody who enjoys a nice cup of coffee would enjoy this. I think I'm going to go ahead and buy myself a whole bag of it. I saw it for like, I don't know, it was under 30 bucks, but it is, it is delicious. Wow. And the soup recipe from Hans Hedrick, definitely appreciate that. 24 grams of grounds, 80 grams of water, and dilute to your heart's content. I like the 1-to-3 ratio. I've tried a few of them the other day, so. All right, well, thank you for joining me, fellow roadies. Remember, explore, learn, and brew together.